It was always meant, and still is, an achievable vision of a society that loved itself enough to push through conflict, to push through differences.
The definition, as Webster might put it, indicates that we have a relationship, that we're connected one with the other.
Always trying to find common ground in a way that did not hang on to bitterness and in a way that was absent of violence.
Folks are able to get resources that they need in order to be prosperous. So whether it's childcare, whether it's, good career or job opportunities, education, safety, connectivity, all of those things go into what I would frame as a beloved community. We've seen, we've studied, we know that poverty is integrally tied to the health of the community. We know that it affects infant mortality rates. We know it affects life expectancy. We know it affects mental health.
The community becomes unhealthy emotionally, becomes unhealthy physically, because we're not able to meet, number one, our basic need.
Poverty, as we know, makes having overall successful, healthy families very difficult.
Poverty and homelessness are the agents that eat at that foundation. And when you always find yourself dealing with poverty, you're in a state of flux. You don't feel secure. And so your world becomes one of trying to grasp for security.
How can I think about making sure I'm eating a healthy diet if I'm not sure where I'm gonna get my next meal? So the connection is so strong that without us addressing those issues, we can never hope to gain or hope to achieve a healthy community.
We want to take ownership of how economic development or how our community is revitalized or how our community is transformed.
Is really about making sure that folks that live in those neighborhoods, that have made those neighborhoods great, have safe, affordable housing, that they have resources for their families to continue to grow and thrive and flourish in the community.
To me, it's kind of threefold in that they're building new homes, renovating them to upgrade them, bringing them back up to code standard, but they're also doing some new construction rental homes.
I jumped at the opportunity I saw as a way of being able to do what I do best, build and develop, but at the same time, hopefully continue to bring a consciousness to what's going on with this movement in Linden, and it's so necessary.
Our One Linden plan has been based on and driven by the residents of Linden and being led by the desires, priorities, and wishes of the residents there. And we think with respect to housing, education, neighborhood quality of life, neighborhood safety, that there's going to be an incredible impact for the people of Linden today and folks that come to Linden in the years to come.
And what I love the work that they're doing is they're also providing assistance to resources.
This is probably one of the last areas in Columbus that have been neglected, so I'm glad they're finally starting to put some money into this area. So all these properties or all the pieces of land that are vacant now, they're really starting to get these together, starting to put some houses in here to promote some home ownership.
That's all everyone wants, is a good, safe home they can have, so therefore their kids can have better. That's what my mom sought for me, is for me to have better. Hopefully we can be doing the same thing here.
And I think with equitable investments, that Linden can be a world-class neighborhood.
Behind what we have an opportunity to do in terms of affordable housing, it needs to be, quite frankly, one of the top priorities, if not the top priority, around the eradication of poverty. If we're able as a community and as a society to solve that, then we put people in kind of what we call the first chair, to be the primary actors in their own lives. They don't have to wait for somebody to come in and rescue them.
The Linden community is awesome. It's full of these great residents who inspire me every day to work towards a better community, a healthier community.
First thing comes to mind is the incredible pride that the residents of Linden have in their community. I've heard it personally from both the community members and then from our associates who live in the Linden area. I think it's, it's broad-based and it's enthusiastic.
It's such a vibrant place.
And so overall, I am really excited about the future of Linden.
Without a doubt, you see my shirt, I love Linden. My why is I love the people. The people that I've met in Linden.
Linden area has a legacy we have to represent.
I think some of the misconceptions that people have about Linden is that Linden is all bad, and that's not true. I think people paint Linden in a broad negative sense, but what I see on a day-to-day basis, I see the goodness of Linden residents coming together as a community.
I think that this place, even with some of the sort of shortcomings, has demonstrated that it can produce the most amazing talent.
I'm very optimistic these homes are going to be great opportunities for residents of Linden to have a great, safe, healthy home.
It's tantamount that we all come together, and I think that's one of the really remarkable things of Columbus in our community is the ability of people to come together for a common cause.
We are Linden. Our story is Linden. So when I come to Linden, it's not unfamiliar to me. When you talk about being a part of this initiative and what does it mean, it's everything. It's everything. I wouldn't care what I'm building or doing or whatever. I've got to find a way to give back too because, as I said before, I'm Linden,
It's extremely important to preserve the culture of a community. As we grow and develop, as we invest in Linden, we need to make sure that the people that live here can afford to live here, that they feel comfortable and welcome here.
There's still hard-working people out here, bro. There's still people that love the community out here.
But really it's the people, the inhabitants, the community. That's what I think is what the point of pride is here, right? The people are the strength of this community, and it's a beautiful thing.
All citizens having value, and within Linden, all of us, all my residents have value.
If we invest in our neighborhoods and our youth and our families, anything's possible.
What I want to say to everybody is, listen, don't abandon the process of becoming. It's not pretty, sometimes it's painful, but it's necessary. But we are on the precipice of Linden and its residents becoming champions.
Think what can be learned from Linden about social equity and inclusion, and how we can create these beloved communities and healthy communities. It's simply a reiteration of recognizing the value that everyone brings.
And so stay tuned.